And the chips are a source of calories. One bag of chips contain about half the calories you're supposed to consume the entire day. All right. And by the way, the chips do not have those healthy bioactives and dietary fiber. So, bag of chips kind of are empty calories as well. All right.
Weight gain, cancer, and Alzheimer's are three health challenges that often seem disconnected but are closely intertwined. Emerging research links our diet directly to these risks, as certain foods can not only lead to unwanted weight gain, but also contribute to cancer growth and the onset of Alzheimer's disease. According to Dr. William Li, renowned for his groundbreaking insights on diet and disease, what we eat can either protect us or put us at high risk. In this video, we'll explore 5 common snacks that Dr. Li identifies as high-risk foods, snacks that many of us enjoy daily, unaware of their potential impact on our health. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified health provider with any medical questions. Do not ignore or delay seeking professional advice because of this video. Any footage of individuals shown is for commentary and discussion purposes only. Candy bars. According to Dr. Li, candy bars are basically a mix of sugar, unhealthy fats, and a bunch of chemicals. We're talking about emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial flavoring, all kinds of stuff you don't want in your body.
Candy is a confection made in a factory, combines lots of ingredients together, mostly sugar, but then you've got all kinds of fats and maybe some chocolate. Might not be good quality chocolate, it might not be heavy cacao, and then all kinds of additives, emulsifiers, thickeners, stabilizers, preservatives, artificial coloring, artificial flavoring, all that kind of stuff. All right. And we've loved it as kids. We didn't give a second thought to it when we were kids eating a candy bar. All right. Like if you've ever gone trick-or-treating for Halloween, you get a big pillow sack full of candy and you eat it. It looks great, tastes great, but incredibly unhealthy as a snack. All right. And here's why. Besides being loaded with added sugar, right? That's candy, it's sugar. All right. And sugar can be hazardous to your metabolism. I would dare say that you probably don't eat a ton of candy bars. Very few people do that. All right. But even when you reach to pick one up, you should realize that's going to be a big carb load to you because of the sugar alone. All right. Kind of like soda. But the key thing is that beyond the sugar, you actually are having all these other additives that can damage your gut microbiome. In fact, some of these emulsifiers that thicken the candy bar, they give you the nougat, they give you the stuff that holds that candy bar together. These emulsifiers have been shown to damage your gut microbiome.
Candy bars are incredibly unhealthy. Dr. Li explains that beyond the sugar, these candy bars contain emulsifiers, which are used to keep everything in that smooth, yummy bar. According to a study in Journal of Frontiers in Microbiology, researchers found that dietary emulsifiers significantly alter the composition of the human gut microbiota. In their study, 5 different emulsifiers were tested on gut bacteria, and the results showed severe changes in the microbial composition. Emulsifiers were found to eliminate a large portion of viable gut bacteria and increase the abundance of putative pathogens. This led to decreased production of protective compounds like butyrate, while increasing harmful inflammation markers. When your gut microbiome is damaged, you lose a lot of its protective benefits. Dr. Li points out that healthy gut bacteria help with insulin sensitivity, meaning they help regulate blood sugar by storing extra glucose in your fat cells. When those good bacteria are damaged, this insulin sensitivity gets derailed, and it makes it even harder for you to lose weight. Plus, many of the additives in candy bars have carcinogenic potential. Yes, some of these chemicals have been linked to cancer. And it doesn't end there. Eating lots of ultra-processed sweets has also been associated with an increased risk of dementia. So, what can we do about it? Well, Dr. Li says it's all about making smart swaps. Dr. Li suggests making your own trail mix with nuts and dried fruits. Pick your favorite nuts, like almonds, cashews, or pistachios, and pair them with dried fruits like cherries or blueberries.
First of all, if you want to eat a candy bar once in a while, go for it. Just try to choose something healthy and, don't eat the whole thing. No one told you to eat the whole thing. But what you want to do is make a knowledgeable choice, really recognizing that's not going to be good for you. Here's what the choice that I would recommend instead. Rather than a candy bar, make your own snack. You want to make a really healthy snack, just kind of like how I told you, you swap out processed meats for, tinned seafood. You want to swap out candy bars for make your own trail mix, all right? So here's how you do it. You go buy some bulk nuts, tree nuts, so whatever your favorite ones are, cashews, pistachios, almonds, whatever you have, all right? And you get them, and you can buy some of your favorite dried fruits as well. Okay, ideally get organic dried fruits because you're not going to be able to wash them, right? Because they're already dried. But things like dried organic cherries or dried organic blueberries or dried cranberries. Organic cranberries are great choices. By the way, these types of dried fruits contain ellagic acid. They contain bioactives like anthocyanins, other bioactives that are beneficial for your gut microbiome, beneficial for improving your metabolism, burning down harmful body fat. Ellagic acid, anthocyanins, for example, cut off the blood supply, feeding cancer, so they're cancer protective. And actually, the dietary fiber can lower the risk of these dried fruits, and nuts can lower the risk of developing dementia as well.
Chips. Dr. Lee explains that chips are deep fried, and that frying creates acrylamides, chemicals formed when food is cooked at high temperatures. A study from the National Cancer Institute journal states that acrylamide is formed when certain foods, especially potatoes, are fried or baked at high temperatures. According to this study, researchers have found that acrylamide increases the risk of several cancers in rodents. Chips also have high salt and unhealthy fats.
Snack foods, we all grew up with it. Potato chips, corn chips, Cheetos, all that kind of stuff, right? Probably things that you started eating when you were a kid. Maybe you don't eat them as much now, but here, like now you kind of maybe feel like you don't want to buy them as much. But a lot of chips are deep fried. The deep frying is not in good quality oil. And deep fried snacks, like those pork skins or French fries or potato chips, the deep frying causes the formation of chemicals because of the frying method called acrylamides, acrylamides, acrylamides on the foods themselves. And in the lab, these acrylamides are powerful carcinogens. They actually cause cancer in lab animals, all right? So you don't want to do that. Chips also contain a lot of salt. Chips also can contain saturated fats, bad for your metabolism. The acrylamides increase your cancer risk. The high sodium increases your blood pressure, and overall ultra-processed foods, like the kind of chips that you're getting, increases your risk of dementia as well.
Dr. Lee says these raise blood pressure and disrupt metabolism, leading to more fat storage. Plus, chips lack fiber and other beneficial nutrients, meaning they are just empty calories. A single bag can contain nearly half the daily calories you need, without adding any value. So, what's a good alternative?
Again, I'm going to come back to my favorite, which is, some tree nuts as a snack, all right? They're filling, they actually satiate you, so you're less likely to overeat the next meal. They have a little bit of crunch, all right? So maybe not crispy, but they have a little bit of crunch. Tree nuts can actually be savory too. They can have a savory, salty flavor. But if you're going to actually get, and they have good sorts of protein, and they've got dietary fiber, some healthy fats as well. But if you are going to get in a convenience store and buy a bag of tree nuts, I am going to give you a caution. A lot of the kind of most appealing tree nuts, they're going to be barbecue flavor. They're going to actually have Thai chili flavor, or there's some other flavoring to them, ranch dressing flavor. Please, those flavorings are usually loaded with artificial additives. So pick up those bags. I'd avoid them altogether, but if you want to take a look, pick one of those things up, look at the ingredient label, and see if there are chemical names. Sounds like those ingredients belong in a chemistry lab. That's an ultra processed food. Put it back. Look for something plain. Plain, simple, roasted nuts. That's actually tree nuts. That's actually what's going to be a lot better for you as a swap. All right. So my little tip there.
Dr. Lee recommends swapping out chips for plain roasted nuts. Nuts like almonds, cashews, and pistachios give you a healthy crunch without harmful chemicals. Just watch out for flavored nuts. Those often come loaded with additives. Instead, choose plain roasted nuts. They are filling, healthy, and packed with good fats and fiber. A simple swap like this can really make a difference in avoiding weight gain and boosting your health. Soda. Dr. Lee explains that regular soda is packed with added sugar. One 12-ounce can contains about 9 teaspoons of sugar. This sugar is quickly stored as body fat, leading to weight gain.
Harmful food number 4, soda. Both regular soda and diet soda, just a whole category of sodas. Now, most of us grew up with sodas when we were a kid, just like these other foods that we've been talking about. And many of us continue to drink them as adults. And I remember when I was in medical school, I had classmates that were drinking like a 6-pack of cans of soda every single day. All right. Even back then, I knew it couldn't be good for you. You get soda at the movie theater, you bring sodas to the beach, and on a hot day, there's nothing that feels better than reaching into a cooler and pulling out a soda to quench your thirst, right? If you're at the beach, for example. Well, listen, while that might be a habit that we've acquired over the years, what you should know is that soda actually puts you at higher risk for metabolic syndrome. All that added sugar in regular soda actually is a big carbohydrate load, big sugar load for you. Gets stored in your body fat, all right? So that compromises. The artificial additives and chemicals has been correlated with an increased risk for some forms of cancer. And soda, drinking soda, definitely linked to a higher risk of dementia as well, all right? Now that's regular soda.
According to the study published in the Journal of Clinical Laboratory Sciences, excess sugar consumption promotes the development of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes both directly and indirectly. The direct pathway involves the liver's uptake of fructose, which leads to lipid accumulation, reduced insulin sensitivity, and increased uric acid levels. Epidemiological evidence links sugar consumption to fatty liver, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular disease, independent of body weight gain. Now, you might think diet soda is better. Unfortunately, Dr. Lee says that's not true.
Unfortunately, diet soda is not better, maybe even worse. And because diet soda is non-caloric, it's sweet, but doesn't have the calories, doesn't have sugar, there's no sugar that's absorbed into the system. Okay, so you think, well, that's good, right? Like you're not going to actually get metabolic syndrome. Actually, you know what? People gain weight while drinking diet sodas, all right? And their blood cholesterol rises too. You know why? Because the artificial sweeteners, the sucralose, the aspartame, the sorbitol, xylitol, these kinds of artificial sweeteners, they've now been shown to damage your gut microbiome. The 39 trillion healthy bacteria that live inside our body, in our lower gut, when these critters, these bacteria, healthy bacteria, lower inflammation, boost immunity. They actually streamline our metabolism. They assist us from healing from the inside out. They even text our brain to be able to actually put us into a better mood. All right, really important. And we're just at the tip of the iceberg. There's probably a lot more that our healthy gut bacteria actually does for us. But you drink diet soda, those artificial sweeteners, while they don't add calories to your body, they add additives that actually poison our gut microbiome. And when your gut microbiome gets damaged, you derail the gut microbiome, what happens? Your levels of inflammation in your body go up. That's not what you want.
Diet sodas use artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin. These chemicals don't have calories, but they can harm your gut microbiome. As we discussed before in candy section, artificial sweeteners can change the gut bacteria, leading to higher blood sugar levels and making it harder for the body to handle sugar. The researchers gave artificial sweeteners to mice and humans and found that both groups showed signs of poor glucose tolerance, meaning they were more likely to gain weight. Fast food burgers.
Fast food burgers, all right? Now, fast food burgers, once again, how many of you have never had one? I bet almost nobody. We've all been brought around to some fast food joint, go to a carnival, go to an amusement park. We've been ball game. Basically, fast food burger, high in saturated fat, high in salt, high in additives, and high in ultra processed ingredients. Well, let's take a look inside a fast food burger. A hamburger is beef, right? Ground beef. There's higher quality, lower quality, all right? But the typical burger you'd find in a fast food joint doesn't contain 100% of beef like you would actually have if you made a hamburger at home.
Dr. Lee explains that fast food burgers are loaded with unhealthy ingredients. They are high in saturated fats, salt, and various additives. The meat used in these burgers isn't pure beef. Instead, it often has fillers like processed soy, cornstarch, and even hydrogenated oils. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, eating 2 or more servings of meat a day, equal to 2 burger patties, can increase the risk of metabolic syndrome by 25%. Metabolic syndrome is a group of health issues that increase your risk of heart disease and diabetes. These issues include high blood pressure, high blood sugar, extra fat around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol levels. The bun used for fast food burgers also contains added sugars, preservatives, and emulsifiers that help keep the bread fresh on the shelf for weeks. These additives can lead to inflammation in your body. Dr. Lee mentions that inflammation is one of the main causes of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer.
And the bun is white bread, all right, that contains additives and added sugar and emulsifiers and artificial preservatives. Look, so you want the people who make these breads, they want the breads to be sitting on the shelf in a plastic bag for as long as they can, right? You could then cart them over to a vendor at a sports arena, and they can sell them for months. That's not the kind of bread that you want to be eating, filled with meat that you don't want to be eating. And then, of course, any fast food burger is going to have all kinds of sauces, you know, besides the ketchup and the mustard and the barbecue sauce and all that other stuff. Take a look what's in there. The thickeners, the emulsifiers, the artificial coloring, the artificial flavoring, including the added sugar as well. So the result is really your fast food burger actually does have some protein, but it's got a big load of ultra-processed ingredients, additives, and chemicals that you don't want in your body. Those taken together can increase inflammation, help you gain weight and slow down your metabolism. It can actually increase your risk for cancer. Just the meat alone increases your cancer risk.
Eating fast food regularly not only increases inflammation but also adds empty calories that do nothing for your health. Pastries and cookies.
Who hasn't had a factory-made cookie? When I was in elementary school, I remember as part of the ride to school, we'd drive by a cookie factory that would make vanilla wafer cookies. You probably know what I'm talking about. We used to roll the windows down to smell that incredible baked cookie smell, the vanilla smell that would come in the window. And then we'd be offered the vanilla wafer cookies as a snack at school, all right? And every time, you know, even now, every time I see a box of these vanilla wafer cookies, it brings me back to like when we were kids and getting excited to see it. Unfortunately, those types of factory-made cookies that get put into a box and then trucked across the country and then stored on a grocery shelf stable for weeks or months, they're not that good for our health, right? First of all, it's got sugar in it, added sugar, all right? So that is a load of calories to our bodies that gets stored in body fat. When I was a kid, I could probably eat a whole box of these cookies. Not good for you, all right? But in addition, factory-made cookies are often made with, cookies are made with flour and oil or butter or eggs and sugar. But factory-made cookies also contain additives like emulsifiers. These are used to thicken the dough, like polysorbate 80. And these types of emulsifiers, thickeners, can damage your gut microbiome and cause inflammation. Gut microbiome, healthy gut bacteria, they lower inflammation when they're healthy. You feed them something like an emulsifier or an additive in a factory-made cookie, guess what? You damage that gut microbiome, your inflammation levels go up.
Dr. Lee explains that pastries and cookies are full of sugar, unhealthy fats, and refined flour. All these ingredients make them one of the worst snacks for your health. According to a study in the Slovak Journal, researchers studied 120 people consuming different types of bakery products over 6 weeks. they found that consuming pastries and cookies led to an increase in visceral fat, especially in those eating refined and gluten-containing products. The reason is simple. Pastries and cookies are full of refined sugar, which spikes your blood sugar levels and then crashes, making you feel tired and hungrier. Pastries and cookies are also packed with unhealthy trans fats. Dr. Lee points out that trans fats can increase inflammation in your body and make it harder for your metabolism to function properly. Also, consuming trans fats is linked to a higher risk of heart disease. The body finds it hard to break down these fats, and they can end up clogging your arteries over time. So, what's the solution? Dr. Lee suggests avoiding store-bought pastries and cookies as much as possible. Instead, if you crave something sweet, try making healthier versions at home. Use whole wheat flour, natural sweeteners like honey or dates, and healthy fats such as olive oil or coconut oil. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more informative content. Let's keep learning how to make choices that help us live longer, healthier lives. See you in the next video.